Welcome to Revitalize and Replant with Mark Clifton, where we equip pastors to take their churches from declining to thriving by pointing them to a new future and a new hope. Join us weekly for encouragement and practical advice in your pastoring journey.
Hey, thank you, Dan Hurst, wherever Dan is. Dan just did our announcing. He does our intro and our outro. And on 90%, maybe 80% of our podcast, Dan is the third person at the table.
Yep, sits right here.
He's like the third person of the... No, not really. But
he sits here.
He sits here. But he can't be here today because he is doing some really important television commercials, and they're due today, and he just couldn't be with us. He has a great job as a voice announcer, but he's a wonderful guy and a really important part of our team. So hopefully next time we do these on video. And by the way, if you're listening to the regular podcast, you don't know this is on video. To see the video, you got to go to my Facebook page or to the Church Replanters Facebook page. You can look at the video there because and the reason you want to look at the video is not because you want to see Mark and I.
No.
We're the last
thing.
The last thing you want to do.
You want to see.
We are a lot better looking when you don't see our faces than when you do. So
that's true.
Absolutely. But what you do see here is we are on the platform of the auditorium of the Warner Road Baptist Church.
And what's it called? It's not an auditorium.
It's called the main hall.
The main hall.
I love that.
I love that too.
Because normally we'll go to the sanctuary. Well, we're Baptists. We don't have a sanctuary. An auditorium, like I said, that sounds like a place Taylor Swift would sing. But this is the main hall. Yeah. I don't know why I like it. Maybe because it's new.
Man,
I just like
it's just beautiful.
But this is a beautiful main hall.
Hey, how did you like preaching in here?
I loved preaching in here. The pulpit is so cool.
Well, and that pulpit,
I know.
You had that built, right?
I had that built, yes. Just for...
it's massive. I love it.
Just for my glory. I wanted a big pulpit. I'm so tired of little tiny stands.
Oh, man.
That one says, look.
It fits it in.
I'll tell you what, when you walk in, you see that pulpit, you go, I don't know what's going to happen here, but it's got something to do with that big piece of furniture up there, all right?
Somebody's going to be preaching.
Something's going to happen from that thing, I guarantee you. It's the biggest thing. The biggest thing in this main hall is not the drum trap set. The biggest thing in this main hall is the pulpit.
Preaching the word.
The building was built in 1929. It's colonial, Greek, Georgian colonial. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
If you're ever in Kansas City, man, show up and worship at Warner Road. 18 people the first Sunday I was here. Now, 20 years later, a solid 200.
And we love their pastors.
Love their pastors.
Oh, man.
Philip, their lead pastor, is absolutely wonderful.
Yep.
And Quinn, their associate pastor, music guy, is great.
Yep.
And they preach the gospel. I mean, they are just great. So anyway, come to Warnell if you're in Kansas City. Look them up on the web, as they say, www.warnellroad.org. We don't say www.
Do you even need www anymore?
I don't think you do.
I mean, I don't know the last time I typed in www.
We used to always say that. Look it up at www.warnellroad.org. Okay. Anyhow, we're here, and we're going to talk about 5 things that we would say to our younger self about being a dad.
About being a dad.
Now, I'm way ahead of you on being a dad. My kids are 40, 38, 36, 37. So, first of all, dads, you should know how old your kids are.
Yeah, that would be a good start.
But my kids are in that age.
Remember their birthday.
I'm trying to remember the age of my grandkids.
Yeah.
So my kids have been gone for a while, married for 10, 15 years. Yours are just
my kids aren't that little anymore. I mean, my daughter is getting ready to graduate from college.
Okay.
And my son is 19, just finishing up his first year of college.
Okay, so both of us empty nesters.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yep. We don't have littles anymore. Not right now.
No.
I mean, you've got the little grandkids.
We got grandkids down the street.
Which is awesome.
Which is great. But we don't have anything else in the house. We used to have a rabbit, but he died. And
we had a rabbit.
Departure.
We had a rabbit that died too. Have I ever shared the story?
No, tell me the story.
The Buttercup story.
People tune into this just to hear these stories.
Listen, here's what's great, bud.
All right, what is it?
We just go everywhere. We're talking about dead bunnies.
Dead bunnies, yes.
Okay, so here's what happened.
We'll put that as the title of the podcast. Dead bunnies.
So my sweet daughter Zoe had a little bunny named Buttercup.
Oh, isn't that
sweet
special?
Buttercup, so soft, fluffy, just so sweet.
Right.
She loved Buttercup. Well, here's the problem. On Easter morning, when she was 7, I went out, just getting some drink, some coffee, some breakfast before I headed over to the church to preach.
You're going to preach on Easter Sunday morning.
That's right.
Okay, so it's a big deal.
Big deal.
It's like the Super Bowl of Sundays.
Oh, it's Super Bowl of Sundays.
All right, here we go. Ready?
And I go outside and I notice Buttercup's cage has been opened.
Like a resurrection, like the empty tomb?
I didn't know. I maybe. And then I saw, without going into great detail,
Yes.
a limb.
Oh, yes.
And then another one.
Oh, yes. Not like a tree limb,
No.
but a bunny limb.
A bunny limb. And what I realized is a raccoon had gotten to old Buttercup. And before you knew it, I was walking around the yard picking up Buttercup. and my sweet daughter, I had to go inside and tell her about the unfortunate.
You couldn't wait till after church?
Well, my sweet wife was like, "You're telling her."
Oh, goodness.
Well, here's why. I think she was so excited about Buttercup and bringing her out Easter Sunday.
Oh, that's
Do you see what I'm saying?
Easter was Buttercup's big day.
Dude, this is the big day.
We're going to get pictures taken with Buttercup.
Dude, she had a little Easter egg basket for Buttercup.
Oh, no.
I mean, this couldn't have been worse.
Oh, that's a movie. That's a Hallmark movie.
Well, I know.
Right there.
Listen,
Oh,
my sweet daughter's still scarred by it, but the Lord's brought some healing.
Okay, well, since you're talking about your rabbit story,
Okay, what about
you're
yours?
risking a lot.
Okay.
First of all, subscribe right now, because if you listen to this podcast, you may unsubscribe. So go ahead and subscribe. But I have a dead bunny story.
Okay.
I bought a little rabbit for our grandkids to see when they came over. A little Dutch bunny, black and white.
Yeah.
Cute as could be, but they smell and they're dirty and they're a mess to keep up. But anyway, this little bunny it was just a few months old, still pretty small. And Jill and I went on vacation. And Jill said, "Well, what are you going to do with the rabbit?" And I said, "I don't know. I paid $12 for this rabbit.
Okay.
$12."
Okay.
She said, "We got to board it." I go, "How do you board a rabbit?" So she called the vet, and the vet boards rabbits, right?
No way.
So I take this rabbit. Her name is Sadie. I take Sadie to the vet, and the lady checks me in, and she says, "If we can't reach you, and Sadie has a medical emergency, how much are we authorized to spend on Sadie?" And without thinking about it, I said $12. And the nurse said, "Mr. Clifton, what do you mean?" I said, "She cost me $12. If she dies, I can buy another one for $12. She was not impressed.
Oh, my God.
She was not impressed. So anyway, we let Sadie stay there, and she did okay that time. And so we traveled again, though.
Okay.
All right? And I said, I'm not, and it cost me, you wouldn't believe how much it cost me to board that rabbit at the I could have bought 30 rabbits. So I'm not doing this again. So I called around to some pet stores, and I found a pet store that said, "Yeah, we'll board Sadie." Okay, great. So I dropped Sadie off at a pet store. So we are actually in Gatlinburg.
Okay.
And we're right down Main Street, Gatlinburg. I remember exactly where we were.
Yeah.
And I get a phone call, and I can tell from the phone call it's the pet store. And so I answer the phone, and this young kid who works at the pet store is, "Mr. Clifton?" "Yes." He said, "I'm afraid I have some tragic news."
Oh.
And I said, "What?" He said, I'll never forget.
Oh, no.
You people who love bunnies, you're going to hate this show.
Oh, no.
He said, "Mr. Clifton, I have some tragic news." He said, "Sadie was found unresponsive this morning." I said,
No way.
"What do you mean unresponsive?" He said, "She had passed." I said, "Really?" He said, "We tried everything to resuscitate her, but it's to no avail. She seemed healthy last night. He said, "This has only happened one other time. It was a 17-year-old cat." He said, "I'm really sorry that your pet died in our care." He said, "What would you like me to do with Sadie?"
Oh, my word.
I said, "Well, where is she now?" They said, "We have her in the freezer."
No way.
Yeah. I said, "Well, do whatever you need to do with Sadie." And so then we came home, and we didn't want to tell the grandkids that Sadie had shuffled off the mortal coil and joined the choir eternal. So what we did is we went and bought another $12 Dutch bunny, and the kids never knew the difference. Okay, so there we go. But Sadie was found unresponsive at the pet store. Okay, so and your bunny was
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
okay. So so the first thing I tell my about being a dad is don't buy rabbits.
Don't buy rabbits.
It's not going to end well.
That's the moral of the story.
Okay, I would tell first thing. I would say.
Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go. First thing, and now we're going to switch gears really quickly, and this is going to get really serious.
Yeah. Okay.
Really fast.
Really fast. Big turn.
I see young men today being far more intentional about discipling their children, their young boys and girls than I ever was.
That's true.
I'm talking preschool, 5, 6, 7 years old. I mean, prayed with them, sure, read Bible stories, yes, but I like the idea of even catechizing young children and getting them to memorize Scripture. And I'll be honest with you, I would tell without hesitation, I would tell my younger self as I was getting ready to have my first children, you need to make discipling your children the primary role as a parent. I'm going to be very painfully honest with all of you because hopefully you'll learn from my mistakes. I did a better job of discipling other people's young men than I discipled my own sons. I found it easier to disciple other people's young men than discipling my own sons for a variety of reasons. Other people's young men saw me as the pastor. They didn't see all my flaws. When I'm trying to disciple my own sons, I'm aware they've seen me behave in a way that, I mean, I'm just telling you. And that was an issue that if I could go back and do that again, I would do it in a minute. The Lord forgives us, and I believe in that. But I would like to tell you I don't have guilt for it, but I battle it, and I often feel like I missed an opportunity to. And you kept thinking, well, I'll get to that. I'll do that.
Right.
And the intentionality that I put into discipling some other young men, I did not put in to discipling my own children. And
what would you say
deeply regret that.
What would you say to the guy listening who really resonates with what you're saying? And they're saying, you know what, it is harder. It's just harder, and I don't totally know why and whatever, And so, you know what I mean? Like what would you say to that guy?
It's harder because the adversary doesn't want you to do it. That's why it's harder. You got to remember, he is at work all around you, seeking whom he may devour. You got to remember, you put a Ring doorbell on your house because you want to protect your family. You'll put all kinds of virus protection on your computers because you don't want a virus in there. You may put protection on your computer so your kid, your boy, and your girl can't look at things they shouldn't look at. You need to realize you do that because you care about them. If you don't disciple them, the adversary comes to you and says, well, you're not, first of all, they don't want to do that. They want to have fun with you. Secondly, you're going to tell them how to be discipled, and they look at you and see you don't always treat mom the right way, and sometimes you're not faithful in reading your Bible all the time, and so what it does is it's going to make you to say, look, in order to be a good parent, I've got to be a good follower of Jesus. And I got to be consistent in my following of Jesus. And I would just say to you guys, it's the most important thing you can do.
Yes, that's right.
As a dad, is discipling your kids.
Yeah, that's right.
And making it a priority. And listen, if you don't intend to do it, and if you don't, you won't do it. It won't just happen naturally and
you won't
organically.
drift into it.
You don't drift toward discipleship.
Yeah, that's right.
Secondly, discipleship is not just a time where you sit down for an hour every other day or once a week. It happens all the time.
Yes,
so when
that's
you're
right.
in the car with your kid, do you move the conversation that talks about Jesus and the gospel, or do you just keep talking about the Chiefs and the Royals and Taylor Swift and and video games, or do you find ways to say, I really want to engage my children in these kinds of conversations?
That's good.
It's easier to talk to them about Mario Brothers than it is to talk to them about sometimes other things. But you've got to be intentional about it.
That's so good, man. Well, and I think maybe number 2, just coming off the heels of that, and you're hinting at it, is live out your love for Jesus, your passion for Jesus in a genuine way in front of your kids. Like, I think you're discipling them, like you said, it's ongoing, it's all the time. But sometimes I've seen guys who seem way more excited about Jesus from the pulpit
all the time
than they are with their kids. And this is where I know some of the sweetest memories when my kids were little is singing cheesy worship songs in the car. We're driving, and part of that is, or I would get my guitar out and we would write little worship songs to Jesus. And that kind of stuff, man, the window is short. And if there's one thing I want, and I pray would be true of my kids, and I didn't do it perfectly, but that they would know, man, Dad wasn't just a pastor. He didn't just love Jesus on Sundays because that's his job. Dad loves Jesus. And we would sing cheesy songs and, we'd do devotion or whatever. But I just think, man, over time, when I think about my own parents, to be honest, and I know you the same way, that's what I remember. I remember they genuinely love the Lord, you know?
And again, if it's just, okay, kids, we're going to have our family devotion, and you really only go into that gear during that hour, that 10 or 15 minutes, and the rest of the day you just kind of act like everybody else in the world.
Exactly, that's right.
They're going to see through that.
Yeah, they will.
They need to see you loving Jesus, as you say, joyful in Jesus. So that's really important. The third thing I would say is I'd be very, very cautious about how I was critical about my church in front of my children.
Dude, that's good, man.
It's so easy to just come home on Sunday and at lunch just sort of talk about, you know what so-and-so did, or they did, or they didn't do this, or this lady came up to me and complained about this again. And remember him? Man, he was back at it again today. And we don't even think we're not talking to the kids.
No, right.
Maybe we're talking to our spouse or whatever. But they begin to absorb this, our frustration with our church members. And I think it just sends a wrong signal.
Totally.
It's not right. And we got to be careful. I'll be far more careful. Now, there are times I need to share that with my spouse, perhaps. That's another topic for another day. But even then, you don't need to unload everything to her.
Well, one of the things I think we've talked about before is one strategy practically is if you've got phone calls at home where you're going to be talking about some issues of the church, take that call and go outside and have the call. You know, because your kids are hearing everything.
That's right.
And they're hearing tone, and so I would advise you and encourage you, man, you don't want your kids to be filled with poison. Again, it's another way the devil would love to get at our kids.
You've got to realize your kids the devil's going to try to get at your kids all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
And you've got to be very vigilant in protecting them. So be intentional about discipling them, not just, on a regular occasion, but throughout the day, in the car, when you're playing ball with them, always be in discipling them. Secondly, really, as you said, be joyful about Jesus in front of them. Let them hear you talk the language of Zion in the normal daily life.
Amen.
Not just when you're in church. And don't let them see you talk differently and behave differently, even have a different preacher voice.
That's right.
Let them see the same guy at home that they see at church. All right? And if they don't, that's a bigger problem.
That's a bigger problem.
Right.
I've got a fourth, and then we'll hit you for 5. Number 4, and this is so important. Laugh a lot with your kids.
Well, someone said, what's the key to having good kids? I think Danny Aiken said this. Love Jesus and laugh a lot.
And laugh a lot.
Those two things.
Dude, it's true, man. Have fun with your kids. Be goofy with your kids. Play ball with your kids. Hang out with your kids. Like, there's got to be joy, man. The joy of the Lord should spill out into how we enjoy our kids.
In total transparency, I failed at being the discipler I should have been. Now, my children all love Jesus, and they're all engaged in church. So it's not like they're reprobate. I don't mean that at all. But I know I failed at discipleship. But I did succeed at having fun.
Hey, but that's a win.
And they're not mutually exclusive.
No, right, that's right. Yeah.
But we had fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we laughed a lot. We joked a lot. We enjoyed doing fun things together. And so I did create an environment in our home with our children, and I would say that's really important.
It's really important.
It really helps you through the difficult times, the hard times that you have being a parent. If they've had we had a saying in a work situation that those you play with, you get to work with much better. As you play with people, as you enjoy each other, then you can go through work situations so much better. And the same thing with your children. If they learn that their dad's happy and he likes to play games and he likes to have fun and he likes to laugh, is there anything better than hearing your dad laugh?
Oh yeah, totally. I know.
I mean, anything. Can I just tell you something? People say, what's this deal about the glory of God, and the greatest gift God can give to us is to be in His presence? And, people who aren't believers don't fully understand that. And even some people, honest, who are listening to this, who are believers, when we say, man, the greatest joy is being around the glory of God, they kind of, they think, does that mean like quiet?
Right,
and incense burning and like a monk? No. There were times in my dad's life when he would just cut loose and laugh. And he would be in the happiest mood in the world. And when my dad would do something and he would just cut loose and laugh, all I wanted to do was be around him.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to be around that laughter, and I'm thinking, that's God. He is
Yeah.
nothing but joy.
Yeah, amen,
And
yeah.
we get to come up and be around him. And so, dads, if you never
That's so
laugh in
good.
front of your kids, if you're never joyful in front of your kids,
Yeah.
they're going to have a misunderstanding of who God is.
That's right. That's right.
And I do remember, I go, man, those days when my dad laughed and had a good time. You know, you mentioned board games in a previous show, and I don't like board games either particularly, but my dad loved to play board games. He and my mom loved to play Aggravation and Sorry.
Yeah.
And the reason I loved to play that game with them is they would laugh, and they
Yeah.
would laugh more playing those
Yeah,
silly
yeah.
games than anything.
Yeah.
And when your mom and dad are laughing,
I know.
everything's right with the world.
Man, you feel safe.
You feel safe.
It's so true.
So the last thing I would say
Yeah,
is...
number 5.
Number 5 is,
Yep.
obviously, try to keep your conflict with your wife at a minimum in front of your children, okay?
Yeah.
Don't fight in front of your kids. You're going to quarrel, and there may be times it's impossible. You may be in a car and something may come up, but if they see you quarrel, make sure they see you make up.
Yes. Say that again.
If they see you quarrel, make sure they see you make up.
That's right.
Let's be honest. Sometimes we quarrel in front of the kids,
Yep.
and we make up behind closed doors.
Yeah.
you
They
know.
never
Let's
see
just-
that
let's be honest.
we made it right. Yeah.
And the next day everything's fine, but they didn't see that process.
Yes,
take place.
exactly.
And I remember there were very few times that my mom and dad really quarreled in front of us, but at times, mainly when we went on a vacation, the tension was up. Everything was, where we're going to eat, and how we don't have enough money. We got to where we're staying. There's always a lot of vacations are supposed to be fun, but a lot of times they became kind of tension filled.
Yeah.
And I remember sometimes my parents would kind of snap at each other on vacation over some stuff. And I remember so well, my dad, man, I remember one time in the hotel room, he just said, kids, I want you to hear something. And he said, Fern, I'm sorry for what I said to you today and how I said it. He said, I'm not being a good dad. I'm not being a good husband. And he said, I just want you all to get down here on your knees with me by this bed. Wow. And I want you to hear me just pray and ask God to forgive me. And I want you to know how much I love your mother.
Wow.
I mean, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
We heard them fuss at each other in the car, but man, I heard them make up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it gave me an impact of what marriage really is. So I would say,
so good,
make sure
man.
your kids see you and show some affection to your wife in front of your kids.
Yes.
I mean, within reason, but there's nothing wrong
Totally.
with coming up and hugging her from behind the neck or kissing her on the neck.
Do your kids know?
Or rubbing her shoulder in front of you.
The
They when they see you reach over
Yes.
and rub her shoulder in the car or run your hands through her hair, or she does that to you, there is that sense of that just brings such comfort to kids.
Or even just hold her hand.
Even just hold her hand.
I mean, that's exactly right. That's
right.
so good, brother.
All right, that's all we got. By the way, if you're listening to this podcast, well, if you are, if you're not, you're not listening. But if you're listening to this podcast, please do me a favor. Listen to the very end. Dan's going to take us out here, and at the end, there's a little Easter egg for you at the very end. If you'll listen to this podcast, I think it'll be worth your time.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today on Revitalize and Replant. This podcast is brought to you by the North American Mission Board, where we help dying or struggling churches regain health for the glory of God and the good of their communities. If you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform. To learn more about becoming a replanting pastor or to explore resources about revitalization for your own church, visit churchreplanters.com.